Okay, getting all this up and running. Here we go. Alright, well, time to continue this shit. Here we go. Alright, so how are we doing here? Pretty good, actually, all things considered. Alright, here we go. Owen Lude and I followed Rufus to his old house in the suburbs. The two of them argued the whole way, Lude accusing Rufus of being helpless without the internet to tell him how to do everything. Rufus called Lude a... What? A patchouli reeking old technophobe. Okay, I don't think a brain-rotted 15-year-old boy would even know what any of those words are. Maybe the word old, and that's kind of stretchy in the modern day. I know this game was made in like 2016 or some shit, but like... Still, I don't think a 15-year-old would have any... I mean, I'm fucking 28 and I don't know what that word is. Jesus. Alright, Sarah, alright. Rufus says he hasn't been back to his house in 2 years, but the front door was ajar and there was scuffling noises coming from inside. Who enters first? Me. Took out my weapon, wondering how the heck I'd been talked into this mission, then pushed open the door. Inside, a terrified dog sped around the room twice, hesitated as it saw us blocking the exit, then zipped out through our legs. We breathed a sigh of relief. No zombies. The house was starting to go a little mildewy, but Dr. That Name office was fine. We found a laptop with the CDC logo, but that was about it. On our way out, I noticed Rufus staring out a window at the corner of the backyard. I didn't expect him to say much, but he blurted out, "I buried him there." His dad had hung himself in the living room, probably thinking Rufus was dead. All his suicide note said was, "I'm sorry." Rufus said that this was the story of his life. His mom died when he was young, and his dad left him at the boarding school when he flew around the world working on projects he couldn't talk about. He always had that laptop on him. He probably loved it more than me. Let's get it powered at our workshop and let's see what's on it. Alright, what's my engineering? 9? Sure. Actually, wait, what else do I need? Pretty much everything, honestly. Alright, well, we don't really need anything else, so yeah, these three will hack the laptop. And, yeah. Okay, let me think. What's needed for the good ending? Cricket bat, check. Horde going through one of these places. Not impossible, but, you know, we'll see if we can get that done. A mall. There's no mall here. Shit, we can't do it. Okay, well. Unfortunate. Very, very, very unfortunate, but there will be no good ending on this map, because we were unlucky and didn't get a mall to spawn. I forgot, you need a mall. Very, very sad. And there's a horde. Progress. Oh, right. Built a church. That's nice. Being silent just because according to my notes here, there's nobody in chat at the moment. There we go. There we go. Mob. That's ones that move towards you are called mobs. Alright, so the ones that stick around are hordes, the ones that move around are mobs, and the ones that attack you specifically are called roamers. Right. Okay, well. Another thing that's kind of annoying is that in order to get the good ending here, you have to, well, not good ending, but like, to fulfill this story mission of this place here, specifically this town, you need to wait quite a while. Which is honestly kind of counterintuitive in game design, because it's like, if you didn't know that preemptively, chances are you would just leave before anything else happened, you know? Which one of these guys was the negotiator? Looks like he is, so... Let's see, some food, that's great. Actually, yeah, let's just get everything then. Right there. Okay, just keep going with this. Hello, Worm, I'm listening. Hi, Beezy, how are you? Good to hear from you, Beezy. Wait, which one of these guys had? There they are. Really clean that place out over there, aren't I? Let's go recruit. Claim all this. That's mine. Fuck you. And then they can have the rest of that over there. You know, call it unrealistic or whatever, but it's like, if you try to reclaim a building that's close to a rival faction's fort, they get pissy with you about it. Now, you can tell them to piss off with aid support without a loss of respect, but, like, I just find it a bit funny how they genuinely are under the delusion that that belongs to them somehow. Not unrealistic, though. I mean, people are just that entitled in real life. Take both. Let's see. Leader. Pretty much the opposite of what we need at this moment, but whatever. This song. What's this song called? The Basement Upstairs. This is the best song in the game, and it's only because it kinda sounds like Rebuild 2's soundtrack, which, who knows, maybe I should stream that next. Rebuild 2's gameplay is a lot more simple and a lot less fun, but it's a lot better written, I'll tell you that. Saying it's a well-written masterpiece or anything is just being disingenuous, but, you know, it's more enjoyable. Why did I pick pickaxe? There we go. Brave. Alright. Item to stay. There you are. Firearms training. Give you a gun. Use a gun. And if that don't work, use more gun. Born leader. Okay. I guess, work on lumber there while, yeah, let's just put them all together. And over that for the huge burst in respect. So we're gonna need that later on anyway. Must have been a miracle. Who got pregnant? Yes, the person we just recruited who, has not had sex before. Right. Again, really stupid that Sarah's under the delusion that women can reproduce asexually. Anyway. It was easy to power the doctor's laptop, but the CDC security took time to bypass. Given enough time, anything can be cracked. Zombies know this. They'll smash at the same locked gate for a month if they smell meat on the other side. We got Rufus and Luda in for the unveiling. The kid looked fidgety. I think he's starting to believe Luke's stories about his old man that he created zombieism for the government and was planning to infect us from the start. What words should we search for first? Origin, creation, weapon. We picked through the cached emails and painfully technical records that went over our heads. One thing was clear, the government did not create it. The doctor knew almost nothing about it at first, but spent the last few months of his life frantically looking for a cure. Vaccine, cure, anti-serum. They never even got close. The doctor's emails grew increasingly frustrated, asking why they weren't sharing research with other countries. The answer was always a matter of state security. His final email, "We can't fight this thing without help. I'm going public with the research. I hope you can forgive me. I hope they all forgive us for failing." So the doctor was a good man. No wonder the government was looking for him after he shared private research with the world. It's a little bit far-fetched, but okay. Laboratory location address. The doctor made several references to something called the Hope Infectious Disease and Viral Experimentation Laboratory, north of here in a town called Hope across the border in Canada. He called it the best chance for a cure. That's a bit odd and far-fetched. Why would just some random small town in Canada do that? But okay. and pleaded with his superiors to let them share the American CDC research with them, and they rejected him. Again, extremely far-fetched. Rufus smiled through the tears at the end. His dad's desktop background was a picture of a younger, more innocent Rufus. Lute apologized, but said that this just proves that China did this. He'll hold on to the research for now. It might be useful for later. One of the 3 things that's essential for getting the good ending. Ah, nice. Engineer. And then over here. Brave. That'll work. Yeah. Crafter. There you go. Light sleeper. Half rations. 3, 3, and 3. Okay, I guess we can leave him as a guard then. Oh wait, no, there's a second one. There we go. Oh, it's Bill. Go ahead for lunch, give free materials. This guy appears later in the story, by the way. And, no, if you've gotten this event, he does not remember you. Because reasons. I don't know. I'm not really sure what Sarah was thinking. And then again, pretty much everybody in this game seems to have memory issues, because it's like, you can literally destroy every faction, they'll just come back in the next map and act like it's your first time meeting them. And that'd be fine and dandy if it's like you killed the leader or something. No. You never kill a leader. Even if you deliberately choose the option to kill a leader, it just says, oh, well, we couldn't find her. Ah, he slipped away. And it's like, okay, that might work once, but like this happening like 8 times in a row is just asinine. Rob 'em. Okay, they're coming through here. I could go do the thing for the quest there, but Amal didn't spawn on this map, which means we just can't, we just simply can't get the good ending, because that's how this works. Very, very unfortunate. Attempted kidnapping. We thwarted a couple thugs today who tried to grab Khan. Gotta stop learning to watch, Worm. Stop learning to watch? What you mean stop learning? What you mean? Anyway. While he was out chopping wood, at least I think they were trying that. It happened so fast, I just reacted as we agreed to our policy. Don't trust anyone until they've proven that they can't be trusted. These guys had weapons in their hands on Brad. Whatever their intention was, they're dead now. Fun fact, if you have the policy set to open arms or with caution, these guys turn out to be slavers who kidnap your guy and hold him ransom. Yeah. Because, you know, slavery would totally be a top priority in the zombie apocalypse when the amount of human beings is in the maybe triple digits, maybe. That would definitely be a top priority, you see. Definitely. There we go. How much do we have? 76, and then that'll be 80, yeah. And over the field, unfortunately. And we just kind of have to sit here and wait. Woo! Motherfuckers. Yeah, that works. Wood. I guess this is what I get for, taking the St. Michael's. I guess this is what I get for making so many zombie traps. I'm not gambling. I do enough of that in TF2. Ah, for fuck's sake. Who even are you? I don't care. And there's a horde right there. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? It'd be weird if there wasn't. Okay. Accept them. Another engineer. Superhero and Genius. Genius, that's pretty nice. As you really start to get a bunch of survivors having to stop to unlock their perks every time does quickly become very annoying. Like I said, this part is very bland, because it's like, well, you just kind of have to sit here and wait. Not really much else you can do. Talk to Kathleen. It's just really not much you can do. Like, you just have to wait for the event to happen. What's the event? St. Michael's boys come up and are like, oh, we've scavenged all the food, we're starving, help us. And they don't ask, they demand. Like you owe them something, which is very annoying, very unlikable. Like, say what you will about Sarah, I'll tell her this, she's pretty good at making unlikable characters. She's pretty good at making characters that make me want to punch him in the face. Now, whether that was intentional or not, hard to say. I mean, it's Sarah, so it was probably unintentional, and she was just genuinely incompetent, knowing her. Oh, they took away the zombie trap. I didn't realize mobs could do that. I have like fucking 1,000 hours in this game, and I've never noticed that mobs can take over the traps. That's interesting. Not talking to men, screw that. Let's see. Where at? Of course. Collapse the tunnels. That's a flare gun. He shouldn't be having that. Sorry if I'm going a little fast and being quiet here. It's just that I'm bored, because it's like I have to just sit here and wait. And no, there is no way to speed it up. Alright, let's see. Which one is this? Master Soldier. Moses, Manning, and Timothy. Okay. Skills. Moses. Matthew. Huh? Oh, Manning and Timothy. Alright. There's Manning, and where's Timothy? Timothy, nah. Manning, no way. Moses. Okay, pretty much none of them are all that interesting, so I guess Moses. Firearms training. Alright, fair enough. One of the Zeds seems to have discovered that it can still scream after death, and now is sitting somewhere outside the fort singing us the song of its people. I hope someone kills that thing soon, because it's driving a lot of us around the bend. Go kill the Banshee. Motherfuckers. Here we go. Rufus and the other two boys came by our gate today. They looked badly malnourished. One of them was missing 3 of his teeth. I don't think those are baby teeth. I mean, again, the absolute oldest ones are 13, not including the leader, so just saying. Rufus apologized for not being honest earlier. The truth is they've scavenged all the food. They can safely reach out of their fort, and they're now starving. He's inspired by Louie's farming skills and wants to start a garden in the back of the school. They came to see if we can help. Sure, I'll help if I can. We agreed to bring them enough supplies to get their farm started. A shovel and 10 armloads of building materials should do it. When we have enough, someone should send them over. This is the event. You do this. Ooh, rabbits. Keep them as pets. Met with Rufus with the tools to build a farm. The kids grabbed the shovels and started digging holes in random places. Obviously, no clue at all what they were doing. I asked him if they needed help, and he got super defensive, saying, "Not from you. What the hell do you know about farming?" I restrained myself from slapping the little goon. Oh boy. Then he had the nerve to ask me if we could convince them. And your options are yes or pretentious yes. Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Thanks for this meaningful and impactful choice. Good, because the Ludis are the best farmers in the city, and St. Michael's only has the best teachers. What? Bro, you don't have any. What are you talking about? I'll tell you I had to bite my lips this time from smacking the little twit. Again, very hard to tell if this was on purpose. Genuinely hard to tell. Like, I cannot tell if Sarah was being serious and was like, oh yeah, characters will totally find my character Rufus here a very compelling and interesting character. They're gonna love him. Yeah, totally. Yes, people love annoying snot-nosed little brats who think they're better than everyone else in the entire world and never does anything positive and only ruins things around them. Yeah, they'll totally think this is a compelling and fun character. My game's gonna get Game of the Year. Do you think Sarah actually sat down and thought this shit? Hard to say. Genuinely hard to say. There we go. Talk with Lud. I'll do that later. Alright, in Lud's wood panel basement office, we asked him to teach the boys Samuels a thing or two about growing their own food. He seemed sympathetic, or maybe he had indigestion from those weird black tomato things they were growing. Said he'd like to help, but they were already short-handed and trying to keep their own walls from falling down. One of their best builders was out of commission with a gangrenous foot after stepping on a rusted nail. If we had a medkit to help him, he waggled his eyebrows meaningfully. Appealed to his good nature. Fun fact, you actually can't get a medkit, except for that crash event back there. That's literally the only way. You cannot earn medkits in any other way this early in the game, which is just so ass. I don't know what Sarah was thinking. That seems like a major gaming oversight. Lud finally relented and said he'd give the kids a few lessons himself, but only if they do exactly as they're told. He seemed to think I was keen to learn on something too, and actually taught me a trick about natural pesticides that might come in handy. Alright, let's see. Let him do it himself. Doesn't really matter, honestly. And now we wait. Oh, this guy's done. Alright. We found that damn howling zombie in the suburb and put an end to it. It was in an odd condition. Seems someone had attacked it with a sword at some point. The poor thing was now walking around with the blade right through one of its eyes, passing part of its brain. I guess that may explain the constant wailing. It didn't even defend itself or try to attack us, just stood there screaming until we finally put it down. We cleared out the rest of the suburb while we were at it and kept the sword. Very odd. Fighter, that's a good one. Okay. Oh, see that. Goonies never say die? What? Okay, again, I get this was before that became a popular slang term, but like this is just getting a little awkward now. One of our children, Moses, is in peril. He was with the group killing zombies of the suburbs, and a slow-moving herd of Zed came shuffling through. All he had to do was stay quiet and out of sight, and they would have walked by, but the poor boy panicked and screamed. Now he's stuck in a parked car, and the Zed could get through at any moment. So here's what it is. Risk killing your own survivor to save the kid, or let the kid die. Keep in mind, kids in this game are useless. Manny jumped into action, fighting off the enemy single-handedly with remarkable heroism. I praised his abilities, but honestly, he's the one that got most into the mess in the first place. A note to future parents, dangerous missions and children don't mix. Unfortunately, this game is under the delusion that everything counts as dangerous, even if it's inside the walls. Outside of outside of very, very niche stuff, such as bartending, preaching, and training. Like, literally everything else has risk. Even cutting wood when inside, which is something that you can do if you have a park, which I can't give a demonstration here, since this map didn't spawn with one, but... Oh, wait, no, it did. It's just they have it. Never mind. It's this one right here. Yeah. Alright. And then after you do all that, you just wait. Yeah, fun gameplay, huh? I don't know what Sarah was fucking thinking. Like, every other... I think this was, like, the first one she did, and she realized her mistake, because... because after this, virtually none of the... After this, virtually none of the events force you to wait around. So I definitely think they learned their lesson. Now, some of them do make you wait, but nowhere near as long as this one does. Just wait, keep waiting, you wait a little bit more, you wait some more, you keep waiting. I mean, you're not going to be able to help either way, so fuck off. Again, sorry if I'm not letting you read all that. Again, it's just I've seen it a bajillion times. Here we go. Evil darkness. We were passing by a dilapidated Almar when we heard the sound of gunfire and swearing coming from inside. We snuck in and found this guy with slicked black hair and a chin you could break rocks off of, fending off a small horde of Zed. With each one dropped, he let off a "Hail to King Baby or I'll see you in Hades, you scum-sucking deader." He wasn't doing so bad for a guy with only one hand and a book under the other arm, but they'll get to him sooner or later. Attack the undead. I torn the undead between the two of us. The store aisle was soon a sea of dismembered body parts. The fella gave me his chainsaw as a way of thanks for the help. It was so coated with gore, I'm surprised if it even still works. I asked him about the book he was carrying, but he told me to mind my own business and get lost, so we did. Yeah, nice Evil Dead reference. Anyway. Yeah, you get, this is like one of the very few unique items you can get in the game that, normally that are restricted to the perk you start with at the very start of the game, kind of like how I have the Feynman's lecture book here. Yeah, it's similar to that, where here, you can get the same shit. It's just, you get the weapon, which is admittedly one of the best weapons in the game, but yeah, it's just chainsaw arm. Groovy. Up, out of materials again. Alright, well, back to waiting! Feckin' back to waiting. Feel like I'm playing Dragon Ball The Breakers right now, just waiting. There we go, finally! We heard a bang on our front gate and found Rufus there, covered in mud and out of breath. Seems like one of the more clueless kids took down a section of their fence to build a planter. Zed poured through that hole as soon as they found it. There could be hundreds of zombies in there now. It'd be dangerous to try to clear out the school, but we could at least try to rescue the boys. We don't have room for that many new mouths to feed, but the Looties have plenty of food. Maybe they'll adopt them. Tell them it's not our problem, send soldiers clear out the zombies, or safely rescue. Fun fact, if you choose this one or this one, you fail. So, safely rescue is the only way. We rounded up those boys who made it out of the school. Amazingly, most of them did so. At least those kids were good at something, not being seen or heard. I beg to fucking differ. Like, this game's 2016, so, like... And in lore, it's 2018, so, like... These are Zoomer kids. Oldest one, keep in mind, the oldest ones are 13. It's fucking Zoomer kids trying their absolute hardest not to be seen or heard. I doubt that severely. Not as bad as Gen Alpha, but, like, still. Around midnight, the school caught fire. What made it catch fire? We took the kids to the Looties farm where Owen said they could do with a few more hands. They forced the kids to toss their smartphones and gadgets, not that they could charge them anyway, but promised 3 square meals. Yeah. And then we wait a few moments. Then we send my leader over there. Okay, sure. And then here we go. Talk with Lud. Who the fuck are you? yeah, you can have him. Anyway. Visited Luddy's farm and found Lud and Rufus butting heads again. Lud was saying relying too much on tech made people vulnerable, and the reason they'd survive was because they knew how to use their own 2 hands. Meanwhile, Rufus was arguing that with those hands, they were a lot more effective when they were using tools, and that all tech was an advanced tool. Whatever, so with Lud, I don't care. Told Rufus that Lud had a point, as technology doesn't mean much if you have a world like this where you don't have nothing to build it on. He threw me a heavy sack of potatoes and said I knew what I was talking about. He smiled a broad grin of his and ruffled Rufus' hair as a way to make the kid bristle. Rufus looked like he was going to say something, but thought better of it and smiled. I don't know why it forces you to do that, but it does. Okay, let's see. Respect, 98. Okay, just one more reclamation, and then we can wait the Not for Alliance, and then we can finally get out of this shithole. Don't share research, because we need this. There we go. On Fathers. There's a special event like this at the end of every single one of the maps, where it's like your character reflecting on something about his past, which, like, at this point, isn't even my character. You have so little say. You have so little say in this game on anything at all. Really makes you wonder, does this even count? Anywho. All this thinking about St. Michael's and the Looties, sons and fathers, has reminded me of my own childhood. We moved around a lot, and it was sometimes hard to make friends. My father was, and all 3 of these are just flavor text, so it doesn't matter. And of course, Mom was always there to patch up a skinned knee or chase off the neighborhood bullies. She was pretty rad. But she and Dad never understood my true passion, my obsession as a child. What I really wanted to be when I grew up was, and then these are all the perks. There's always the 2 generic ones, and then one of the DLC ones. With only one exception, with that being pizza delivery, always choose the DLC option. It's always the best one. Police officer will increase everyone's defense with weapons. Gangster makes it so there's no happiness lost due to injury or death. And Rockstar will double the respect you earn from other factions. It doesn't tell you this, but it also reduces how much you lose. It cuts that in half, so it's borderline broken, actually. Had a drum kit and played in high school band, but we weren't very good. I didn't practice much. One day we moved to a smaller house. My parents made me leave the drums behind. After that, I kind of forgot about music. But what the hell? It's never too late. I'm going to learn to play for real and become the rock star I never was. I'm going to call our band Watermelon Iconoclast. That's a good ring to it. I don't know, man. If I have to struggle and stumble on my words, trying my absolute hardest just to pronounce the name, maybe it's not that good. Okay, let's see. Who are we going to bring with us? We can bring 3 others with us. I guess whoever's the best soldier. I mean, he has the potential since he's got fighter. Does this give you more? It does. Okay, so Moses, wherever you are, bud, there you are. Coming with me. Best scavenger. I should probably just look at the skills, actually. Okay, we got the builder, the scavenger, and the... and yeah, that'll work. That'd be good old Dean, because he has Scrapper. Yeah, Scrapper's pretty rare. Okay, double check all their gear. Make sure it's the best they can be. Yes, it is. Okay. Do all that. Hand that over. Okay. Max that respect. Go okay, wait again! So much waiting here, I know, it sucks dick. Trade 10 medicine. Talk. Suggest alliance. And then alliance. And then we wait. I add the muscle, get rid of that horde. And then there's another one. Announce the alliance, here we go. Two of the Luddites blew trumpets, and a third cried, His Majesty King Owen Lud the First. As Owen climbed the steps with a sheepish smile. The fanfare kind of started as a joke, he said, but now it's one of our traditions. When I die, they'll probably replace me with another king or queen. He flashed the crowd a peace sign, and he gave a short speech about benefits of peace and eating raw food. He's right about peace, at least. And then we can finally get out of this shithole. Now that we've allied with the Luddites, it can be sure our place won't be contested. They've got our backs and we got theirs. As the Lone Ranger used to say, my work here is done. Time to get out of the posse and move on to the next llama ranch or whatever. Onward down the road to the next town that needs saving. We can start a new mission to leave the city of City Hall. I'll go and take up to 3 with me. The rest need to stay here and keep the place together. So yeah, the best builder, best soldier, and best scavenger. Yep. And here we go. Diane. And yeah, every single one of these is him writing to Diane, the dead bitch. You know, the dead bitch who he, in lore, only knew for about 2 weeks and wasn't that close with. You know, the bitch who us, the players, only knew about for like 5 minutes, and for some reason Sarah's under the delusion that we should care. Man, you can tell her inspiration was Bethesda writing. You could tell Sarah's inspiration was Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, just because it's like, man, she took serious notes on how to make characters forgettable, unlikable, and force it to make it so it's like, oh, your character cares with all their heart, when it's like, meanwhile, the player doesn't give a shit because it's only been like 5 seconds with the character. Anyway, you've been proud of what we built in Winnetochee. It's a real place to settle and call home now. Just not for me. I've got itchy feet again. I've heard of this place up in Canada, a big lab that was working on a cure for the disease. This town's got a catchy name, Hope. If it's still there, I'd like to find it someday. You know what's really funny? What's really, really, really funny? If you fuck up the story of the first city here, and just kill everybody, and don't actually learn anything, this exact same dialogue still comes up, and your goal is still to make it to the town of Hope. How would your character even know about that? Fucking dog shit writing. Took 109 days, 27 survivors, total score. Yep. Moses Lake. We're heading right into the urban downtown this time. There should be plenty to scavenge, but we're gonna have to build our own farms. A couple of gangs are fighting over the territory, making life miserable for those who don't want to pick sides. Sounds almost as bad as the zombies. Hopefully we can reason with them. Alright, Moses Lake, challenging. Here we go. Okay, first things first, get that out of the way. Go, I'm thinking. Yeah, you go attack over there, you reclaim over here. Actually, while they're doing that, you scout. That'll work. Hey, we spawned near the water. That's always a lucky start. On our way from reclaiming a building, rob him. Because it literally only is beneficial, and it's never negative, unlike the other ones. There we go. Alright, fertilizer. We're definitely going to need that. Definitely need that as well. Build a farm. Research them, use them for medicine. Nope, not dealing with that bullshit. Shovel, zombies killed, stick. Here we go. Scavenge around. I should probably do that next. Claim that. Scavenging is better than scouting if it can be helped. Again, you motherfuckers! Wait! Oh, fuck! I just realized! Oh! I screwed up earlier. I could have given one of my men the cricket bat, and then I could have brought it here, then we could have had a chance to get the good ending here. Shit! Fuck! My bad. I could probably rewind for that, but I'm not gonna do that. Too much work. Alright. I'll just deal with it. Up until a specific map, we'll be alright. If I don't get it by a certain map, which I'll tell you about when we reach it, then I'll just constantly reset it until we can get it, because I do want to show off the good ending, because I'll admit it's not too different than the other endings. It's just more like a, hey look, you're alive, versus hey look, you're dead, you know? And yes, that is basically the only true difference. Another horde. Claim that. Bonus food, always nice. Yeah. Just keep scavenging around. Ignore it, nobody cares. Alright, invite him to stay. Another builder, we could definitely use that. Tools expert. Oh, chainsaw, there we go. Oh, sledgehammer. Redecorated. Changed it to workshop. Alright, that's perfectly fine. Not what I would have picked if I was given the choice, but it's fine. Ever heard of this thing called night soil? Let's just say you might not want to know where it comes from, but so far it's very effective. Mixing a little into the soil we plant our seedlings has increased food output. Okay, improved teaching. Give him 3 boxes of ammo. Gotta collect more useless buildings so that way we can... Ooh, there's a park we can search out. So that way we can convert into farms. There's Gustav. I has a muscle. Get rid of there. Okay. Let's reclaim that with him. Well, I guess we kind of have to keep the other builder there, actually, don't we? Unfortunately, yeah. Keep searching around. Okay, convert that to a farm. Like, the challenge is supposed to be that there's no farms, and therefore our food should be a harder resource to get. But, I mean, you can just simply build over it. Like, this isn't even like me being broken with the starting perk of Engineer. Like, you can make farms right off the bat without even having the research unlocked, so... yeah. Thought I set my guy to research. I guess not. Feed her dinner. Park reclaimed. Make it a farm. Scavenge around. Yeah, see, there's the mall. Like, let me show you the event here. That's absolutely essential, by the way. You need to do this. Take a drink of my drink here real quick. Volunteers are enough. We're not going to need too much defense on this one. Because, spoilers, we're going to align with both factions. You'll see what I mean when I get there. Shopping spree. Out of the mall. Undead lining up the escalators, patiently waiting for them to move again. The window shop, leaning their foreheads against the glass, moaning with desire at the goods within. It's a fine line between pathetic and hilarious. I finished work early due to my fantastic skills, scavenging everything from the obvious stuff, like sporting and bakeries. Since we have time, should we check one of the smaller stuff? For this option, pick the pet store. Pet stores are kind of sad now. Animals dead in their cages, starved, dehydrated. Oddly, the rats, hamsters, gerbils, and guinea pigs were missing. And also, the section labeled primates was completely bare. Ugh, Sarah! Okay. Okay, I'm not Canadian, but if I have any Canadian viewers, can you please inform me? Do you guys have pet shops inside your malls? And at said pet shops, do they have motherfucking monkeys there? Are there monkeys at your pet stores? Something tells me no, there's not. Why the fuck would there be a section in a pet store for primates? That's so stupid. Weird. Whoever took the animals scattered pieces of paper everywhere, or dropped them accidentally. Looks like research by an anthropologist named Dr. Van Newton. Something about Haitian ceremonies. Voodoo? Rats? Monkeys? Who knows? And yes, that's absolutely essential for the good ending. Very stupid. Anyway, increased rations. Here. Seal the door shut, 'cause it's not worth it. And then, what do we need? I guess a bar, since there's a church right there. No, wait, there's a bar right there. Okay, well, I don't know. We'll come back to that, I guess. %less danger from distance. Move our guys together there so we can scavenge together. Nice. I guess this will take priority for now. Manually, because whenever it's random, it's garbage. Alright, let's think. I guess a second well, no, we have a second one. Interesting. I guess I'll just make that another farm then. Probably need it in the long run since we can't find any more. There we go. Hire the girls for the others, just so we can unlock the dialogue. Very degenerate. Anyway, let's see. Anywhere that's been yes, actually, there we go. Again, really? Alright, let's see. Who's the sick one? A soldier? We could definitely use that. Okay. Switch our priorities here. Anti-zombie armor. That's pretty nice. Tools expert. Fast recovery. That's ironic. That'll work. That'll end up working real well for the guy. Alright, get a little food and supplies. Give more to churches. Alright, make a farm. Scavenge the area, patch up the survivor. Why is this an event in literally every single map? I couldn't even begin to tell you even if I tried. It just is for some reason. Why has it got to be essential in all? Like the first map, I understand the reasoning and need for it because it's part of the main story. Like where it's like, oh, either respect or have the medkit. It's like a failsafe, you know? Like I get that, but like, why must it happen on every single other time though? Like this feels so. I don't know. It's fucking Sarah. Why am I asking questions? Scavenge everything. That's essential. Okay, then I guess we'll just wait. And then they're done. Yeah. Let's get all these out of the way first, actually. The more like a perfect box yours fort is, the better, so that way you can utilize the overpowered traps better. Okay, these knuckleheads. The Granville Rifts. There used to be a local martial arts school here called Granville Rifts. They were known for their strict training regime and even stricter code of honor, but this wasn't the kind of self-defense class you send your 7-year-old to. These guys were trained to kill with fists, feet, sticks, and swords. It's a nice thing about a sword is that it doesn't run out of bullets. Probably because it doesn't use them. Anyway. It looks like all that training paid off and the Rifts are still alive and kicking. We spotted a group of them up nearby. Guess we should pay a visit. Okay, so these guys are one of the very few factions in this game that are returning from Rebuild 2. In Rebuild 2, these were just a band of survivors with guns that were just going around mowing down zombies. Like, their only goal was to kill all the zombies. And they could theoretically align with the players because they would just show up, kill zombies. Sometimes they'd show up and help you with some stuff. There was a couple of entries where they'd show up for allied stuff, and you could ask them for help in taking down the raiders, who we'll get to later because they're also here. And they would always agree, and that's all they were. They were just a band of survivors with guns that would show up and wipe out zombies. Very simple, but it worked. And then for some reason here, Sarah decided, you know what's a good idea? Let's make them a fucking parody of 80s action movies. Great idea. So now they're literal fucking LARPing ninjas who only use their fists and swords and sticks to kill zombies. They don't use guns at all now. They're all martial artists. They all wear sunglasses for some reason. And they come from New York City. This is the funniest part. Keep in mind, this game takes place almost entirely in the state of Washington and around the Vancouver area of Canada. They've spread all the way from the East Coast to the west side of the United States somehow. Somehow. That's what they've done. Without any guns. Just melee. And they have enough fresh bodies to do this shit. And these guys aren't farmers, by the way. Where are they getting their food? These guys are not farmers. Where the fuck are these guys getting their food? I know there's literally nobody in the chat right now, according to my statistics here. It says nobody's watching. So I'm just saying this out loud for retroactive reasons, I guess. As is so often the case, because nobody cares about Rebuild 3, and honestly, I don't blame them. But, like, this is shit writing. How in the fuck is this a faction so big that they're based out of New York and they have operations in Washington? How is it that a faction that has no idea how to grow food is surviving and has this many bodies and doesn't use guns? They only use melee, primarily swords. Also, they don't ever mention this by name. However, thanks to the special events and all the background portraits and all the times they ever show up in designs, like, this is kind of unsettling - weird. And I'm not sure what Sarah was trying to say with this, but literally all 100% of the members of the Granville Rifts are black. As if to imply they require you to be black to join them. Now, that's kind of weird. They never point this out, but if you look at all the portraits, all the special events, all the survivors that can escape from them, dash require recruitment from them, dash get kicked out of them, dash get kidnapped and you have to rescue them and you convince them to save them, you know, they're all black, 100%. And that's weird. Now, you could make the argument of, like, oh, well, maybe that's just because it's based off the leader, and maybe Sarah was so incompetent that she just designed it that way and didn't think of it otherwise, right? Well, here's the problem with that. There's another faction which is, in lore, supposed to be dominated and ruled entirely by women. As in, 99%, if not all of their members are women, right? Well, if you do those same events, even though in the portraits they're all women, even though in lore, when talking to them, they're all women, in the events, there's an equal normal chance of it being a guy. So, like, either Sarah passed out when programming that faction, or this is just some weird deliberation. I don't know what she was trying to say here with all the rifts being black. I don't know. I don't know what she was trying to imply with that, but yeah. Gender roles. Okay, let me think for a second. Only Last Judgment's here, so yeah, we should do this one. Anyway, women should stay safe at home. There we go. Devout happy, women lose defense, angers the Dahlias specifically. By the way, if you couldn't notice, we don't have a single woman at the fort yet, so, you know. Yeah. Hopefully we can find Last Judgment here soon. Send over Builder, there you go, buddy. Gonna be aligning with both of them, because that's something you can do in this one. Unlike Rebuild 2, where Last Judgment was always hostile, and rifts were always friendly, here you can at least change that. Even if it's very abundantly clear the game wants you to go with one over the other. Gee, I wonder why. Let's see. Don't have any tools for that. Wow, okay. Offer some expert advice. Help you out a bit. Okay. Let's pair these guys all together. Ah, there we go, the edge. Alright, Dave, and what do you got for me, bud? Fighter. That's pretty good. Pretty useful thing to have. Spray and pray. There we go, progress report. Just keep on reclaiming. I'm not gonna be doing no gambling. I do plenty of that in my spare time already. Farm. Not scavenging about. There we go, zombie defense. They didn't like my first prototype of the zombie bear suit. Head-to-toe protection. Was completely zombie-proof, but you couldn't really walk in the thing, or breathe. Version 2 was better received. A simple piece of PVC pipe over the forearm makes an excellent shield. We've noticed the Zed almost always go for the jugular, much like wild animals, so wearing a scarf or leather neckband could save your life. Oh, right. Let's go recruit a little bit. Is there a park around here? Yes, there is. So we got all that, so then make these a farm. See what this man needs. Like I said, there we go. F rations. There you go, bud. Alright, Leader and Senate, even though it doesn't actually matter, because, again, Sarah passed out and didn't program things right. What a surprise. She's gotta be one of the most incompetent programmers ever. Like, it's just so much shit just didn't work. Alright. Finally got an extra soldier here, firearms. Use a gun. Fucking art there with the change there, that's so bad. Alright, anyway. Defend over there. How much room we got? We got room for 2 more. Make another farm right there. Oh, there's Last Judgment. You can see their little sign poking out. Is there anything we can, like, just quickly scavenge? Probably not, so no, let's just get that up. Alright. What? Okay, so just spontaneously out of nowhere. Anyway. Came to confine me and discovered that she's pregnant. It was accident, she said, impulsive. Ugh. Okay, listen, morally I would always click have the baby, but I mean, this fucking game, children are useless, so fuck it. Don't want kids in this game no matter what anyway, so fuck it. Again, if this was real life, I'd pick the have a baby every time option. Let's see, firearms. Probably shouldn't have picked that. Probably should have picked melee since we're running low on guns, but oh well. Not like it's the most compelling and not like it's the most compelling and useful perk anyway, you know. And then yeah, I guess we'll just go over here and do basic traps. There they are. There they are. Last Judgment Gang. I wouldn't have crossed these guys even when there were police to protect us. Now there isn't much in the way of civilization left. Steer clear. They're a gang of bikers who follow the word of God when it suits them. They're quick with Bible quotes on how wives should submit to husbands, but they ignore the bits about not violently murdering thy neighbor. I'm pretty sure that's in there. These guys worry me about as much as the Zed do, but at least with them, we can at least cut a deal with them. Alright, so this is another faction that was in the previous game, Rebuild 2. However, in Rebuild 2, they were just always hostile. They were just automatically hostile by default raiders who would always just show up, steal food, and then fuck off. One of the conditions to win the game in Rebuild 2 was to wipe them out. And there's a lot of things that would reveal like their base, getting intel, then waging war with them, asking the Rifts for help, stuff like that. Now in Rebuild 2, there wasn't much to them. They were just a gang of raiders with a very weird physical design of being a Catholic priest looking like, essentially. Why Catholic priests? I'm not sure, but they clearly didn't follow the word of God or anything like that. They were just using it as like a physical, physical appearance-wise. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was to make them more distinct. Maybe it was to make them more intimidating or whatever. I don't know. But here in this game, they seem to take the Catholic thing and actually make it like part of their character and identity. Kind of. What do I mean when I say kind of? Let's just say, with how this faction is portrayed, you really gotta wonder, like, was Sarah, like, forced to go to Sunday school as a child, and she, like, she hated and reviled every second of it or something? Did she have some kind of, like, bad experience with Catholics? Because, like, this game is... It's not very subtly. This game is kind of in your face with being anti-Catholic, which, as a Christian man, makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not really sure what Sarah was trying to implement with this stuff, because, like, a lot of the stuff with how they betray both Last Judgment and just Catholicism in general, even with the whole devout system, which is in the game, by the way, like, I don't know, like, I feel like Sarah had some axe to grind with Christians. Like, I mean, she's a liberal white woman, so of course she has an axe to grind with them, but, like, even in Rebuild 2, it felt a little strange, but, like, here, it's, like, just kind of in your face. Again, I don't know what Christians did to this liberal white bitch in the first place, but, like, she really hates them. But, like, there's a lot of things that she just doesn't get right, and there's a lot of things that, like, and it's not even like, oh, the characters misquote the Bible, and it's, like, supposed to show that they're not actually believers, and they're, like, using it as, like, they're using it as justification for shit, you know, like how in real life some people use scripture out of context to justify actions, you know? No, they're not even doing it like that. Like, it's like the game takes it dead seriously. Like on this one right here where it says, they're quick with Bible quotes on how wives should submit to their husbands. Like, they're always super quick with, like, stuff like this. And it's like, she fails to mention what the literal very next quote in the Bible is. The exact quote in the Bible mentions how wives should submit to their husbands and serve them, and then literally the very next sentence is, and husbands must love, cherish, and protect their wives, just as Christ loves, cherishes, and protects the church. Like, that's literally the very next quote. And then the very next line after that is how every man deserves a wife, and then the very next line after that is how every woman deserves a husband. Like, just saying, people. I'm just saying. I get it. It's not a religious nor a political channel, but like, if you're gonna critique the thing that my entire life revolves around, at least do it fucking right. Don't fucking misquote it. Don't like try to deceive other people by like leaving a bunch of important shit out, you know? Anyway, so the game itself tries to portray these guys as bad guys, and like they even have the lowest starting respect in the entire game, below 50 and above, and just at 30, which means they won't go to war with you immediately, but when they're below 50 and at or above 30, they'll send raiders after you. But here's the funny thing, there are so many random events that make these guys easy to befriend, and I mean so many. Like, it's genuinely kind of hilarious. It's like, Sarah, you were really trying to portray these guys as bad guys, then why make them so reasonable? Why make it so it's so easy to side with them? Why make it so it's so comedically easy to befriend them? If you want to portray them as the crazy, bad guys, you know? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if that was your goal, Sarah, you failed spectacularly. Much like with everything else with your writing in this game. The building at the center of Last Judgment's base looks like it was an old church, except the big neon sign above the door that said Sacrament didn't quite fit. Surrounded by motorbikes, it looked like more of a bar than a house of worship. Smelled like one, too. Inside, a big fellow wearing a leather and half a dozen gaudy crucifixes around his neck, and half a dozen, he's got one. Introducing himself as Father O'Grady, offered me a beer, and he said he was looking forward to getting to know me, hoping that I turned out to have bigger balls than those sneaky pajama wearers at the Rifts. Yeah, these are the bad guys, by the way. These are evil, bad raiders, by the way. I won't let you down. He slapped me on the back with a meaty hand, gave me an ugly grin, and said he'd hold me to it. Then you go over here to the Rifts. You know what's even funnier? Like, the funniest part about this, it turns out the conflict between the Rifts and the Last Judgment in this game, anyway, turns out it was exclusively because the Rifts tried to flex power in the Last Judgment. I mean, the Last Judgment were perfectly fine, and were just minding their own business until the Rifts interfered. Yeah. Anyway. As Ed's Exterminator from Last Judgment showed up with a bunch of goons in town, emptied a sack of zombie heads at the feet and demanded compensation for keeping the undead at bay. If we don't pay them, they imply the next second heads might accidentally end up in our water supply. So if you do this, they attack you. If you do this, they fuck off. And if you do this, you gain some respect, I think. Or it's just neutral and nothing happens. Let's see. Yeah, neutral, nothing happens. We convinced them we're doing an equal amount of work to kill zombies, and if anything, they should be paying us. I think we almost had them there. Anyway, they left peacefully. That's not Last Judgment, by the way. That's a generic line. That happens with any faction whose respect is below 50, so, like, that's not them. That's just generic. Again, trying to portray your bad guys the way you're doing here, Sarah. Like, all you're doing is, like, showing off how much of an atheist you are. I don't know. I don't know what her problem is. Alright, what was I doing? Right, I was gonna wait for that to finish. Here we go. I've never seen so many chiseled bodies when I walked through the Granville Rift's heavily fortified compound the first time. Seemed like everyone from the biggest bruiser to the littlest old lady had a six-pack from all that martial arts training they do. I had a chance to meet with their lanky boss, Malik, while I was there. Told me they'd been watching us, keeping the Zed in check was their primary concern, but they wouldn't tolerate us causing any trouble like those damn bikers on the other side of town. Other side of town? It's like they're 2 blocks away from you. Not to worry. Gave me a grim smile and told me if we ever need help bringing down the zombies, we could arrange to send a few guys over. Yeah, he says that, but he never actually does it. So, you know, thanks for your empty false promise there, Malik. Ugh. With hostility, because that doesn't help at all. Okay. Scavenging. There we go. Here we go, this is one that's exclusive to them. Father Gratis and some of his boys showed up at our gate this morning with long faces and empty gas canisters. Said it seems they burned through a lot of fuel driving around the city and were hoping we had some to spare. Give them some gas. They were grateful for the gas, and soon after we heard the sound of their engines revving in the distance. Yeah, totally evil bikers, by the way. Evil raiders, by the way. Showing up at your gate and politely asking for gas. Also, if you deny it, you just lose a little bit of respect and they leave. That's it. Definitely the bad guys, by the way. Definitely the bad guys. Yep, 100%. Clearly, objectively evil, am I right? Motherfucker. we'll wait right there for them then. And here we go, the overpowered zombie traps. Paramedic training. Here we go. Again, clearly the bad guys, am I right? Oh God, they want to tell us about God. They want to preach the gospel to us. Oh no. Seriously, Sarah is just such a raging atheist. Anyway, we got a knock on our gates today and opened it to find Father Grady with another clean-shaven man, a white skirt, leather vest, and tie with a little cross on it. Asked if we'd heard the word of the Lord. Listen to what they have to say, tell them to get lost, invite them to our church. Group seemed quite surprised that we had a spiritual side. We showed him around the old church that we had fixed up and bonded a little. Father Grady invited us to listen so that they could return the favor. This Sunday ceremony is God's Flaming Sword of Justice, the M4 Carbine AR-15. Our most devout survivors were quite pleased to host some fellow Christians for the day. Look at that, plus 19 respect. Yeah. Again, by the way, like, I want to ask, Sarah, if you meant to portray these guys as bad guys, why make them so reasonable? Like, why make them not do any evil actions? Why make them incredibly reasonable and make it so it's like you can cut a deal with them pretty much right away? Why make them so easy to align with that they're the quote-unquote bad guys? Just saying. Yeah, over here. that bitch must have had like a like mentally scarring incident with Christians or something. I don't know. She's got an axe to grind. I guess right here will do. Alright, that'll do for now. We'll wait until we get some more scavengers. Until then, he can just stay right here. Actually, yeah. Since he's got the scrapper perk, we can train him in defense. That'll work out. More Zed. Oh boy. Gamble. Good. If that fails, they end up with the Clumsy perk, which is probably the worst negative perk in the entire game, honestly. Like, it's so devastatingly bad. All it does is, like, triple the danger from a mission, and even if a mission has 0 danger, it forcibly makes it dangerous. Like, so that's very ass. There you guys go. Oh, God. Okay, good. I was about to say, like, of all the people who get their shit stolen, why me? Alright, got my shit back. Good. Alright. Dean Sampson interrupted me, stepped forward, mumbled an apology, and handed him his book back. That was easy. Dean said, who the fuck is Dean? He's my friend! What the fuck? Why did you... Okay. Alright. Sure. Whatever, mate. Whatever. Anywho. Let's, continue with this, I guess. A challenger is near. I did it. Oh, I have 20 defense. Yeah, that's good. A group of Granville Rifts showed up today in their matching black and yellow pajama robes. Malik wants to challenge one of our strongest fighters to face their champion one-on-one. To prove whose group is stronger, Worm took one look at their champion, a harmless-looking old man with a walking stick, and said he could take him. I'm not so sure about that, but if he wants to try, agree. The match lasted the night with a lot of posturing and near misses. Neither fighter was giving ground. After the third break, at the clock struck midnight, Worm dropped their champion with a crane kick to their head. You know that can kill him, right? Anyway. Afterwards, Malik seemed to look on us with newfound respect, even bowed to us after they dragged their fallen champion home. Plus 20 respect. Totally the good guys, by the way. Totally the good guys. Valuing strength above everything else. And fighting like savages. Yep, very, very good. Objectively good. Definitely the good guys. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Oh, we need more room and fast. Let me think. What do we really need here? Repopulation might not be the best idea since we need more room and food first. Keeping people safe. Not really necessary here since there's going to be no hostile factions. Religion, morale is not an issue at all, especially with devout's and Last Judgment around. So I guess trading, that'll help. Leader and Senate, because all survivors is just a detriment and leader does nothing. Private property, this is the only one of them I have to think for a second. Let me think. Now, naturally, in real life, I'd do this one every time, but, like, let me think. We got a shitload to scavenge, so it might be better for the top, but... fuck it. Keep their own. Just for the morale, why not? Wealth. Skilled soldier. Skilled or hardest? Skilled or hardest? Let's go with skilled. Crime and punishment. Kick them out. Nationalism. Help our buddies. Capitalistic republic. That's what I'm talking about. President. Here we go. Okay. Okay. All those are good now. We need to... We caught sight of one gal with a katana wearing the Last Judgment's colors wandering through a sea of undead. The office like it was nothing at all. Very impressive. Okay, also, this is another thing, by the way. Later on in the story, they try to insist that Last Judgment hate women, and they enslave women, and, like, they're literal slaves, and they're not allowed to do anything beyond, like, basic home, like, the stereotypical woman work shit, you know, like cooking and cleaning, essentially. They insist that. Meanwhile, if you actually do the events with them, there's a chance that their faction members will be female. During the story mode, you meet a female member who's actually like a legitimate soldier who works for them and like fights for them and stuff. And right here, here's an event where it says one girl with a melee weapon is killing some undead near one of our buildings here, helping us out. Yeah, totally the bad guys, right? Yeah, they totally enslave women. They hate women, clearly. Yeah, they hate them. Sarah, if you're going to try to make an evil faction, can you at least be consistent with it? Like, even the most minor of inconsistencies will ruin it. Here we go. Better chance at injury. Most important part of first aid training is CPR, but no one could agree on the right way to do it. 5 pumps in the chest with 2 breaths, or was it 7 and 5 breaths? Then people worried about catching STDs from giving mouth-to-mouth, so they took the breathing part right out. Then victims started suing their rescuers for breaking ribs, and hell, what's even the point of trying? The rule is act, do something, anything might save a life. Okay. Alright, we need some buildings and soon, so let me go do some trading while I get these guys up and running. Trade with Gustav. What you got, Gustav? Some minerals. Yes. We'll take all that. 52, there you go. And then, oh, Last Judgment sending me a trade caravan, nice. Illness cured. Okay, make that an apartment, because we need more room and fast. What do you need, O'Grady? We're nearly out of food, offered one of the workers. We had a whole shipment coming in from town, but it never showed up. Probably out somewhere getting picked over by scavengers. The boss would pay double for it. If O'Grady overheard, he didn't say anything. Holy ball sacks! Look at all these guns, that's great. Just take, okay, what if I gave you literally everything? Okay, that might be a little out of my pay grade, but 60 of those. And I guess I don't need that. And I guess I also don't need that. Alright, let me think. 71 days worth of food for 3 assault rifles, 3 chainsaws, and a pistol. Not bad. Last Judgment had some Toblerone bars on them that they swore were for personal use and refused to trade. Man, I would have given them my left arm for some of that. I don't know what that is, so... you know, fair enough, because I have no clue what that even is. Oh, who's texting me? What's this? Go ahead right now, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Just some family matters. Make me a 37? I maxed it out. Yeah, that maxed it out. Again, I know Rockstar's doubling it, so that means by default it's probably like 20 or something, but like still. Met with Father O'Grady to talk about setting up a no man's land between us and their fort. He pulled me aside at one point and told me he had heard our new policy on letting women out of the kitchen, as he put it. He said, "It's good you're nipping that in the bud, son. You start giving women guns, and in my experience, they just turn around and point it right at you." Genesis 3:16, "Thy desires shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." Okay, again, you're taking that massively out of context. You know what? Hang on, where's my Bible? Hang on a second. Alright. Now, it's early Genesis, so I'm sure it's God talking about Eve, but, like, he's definitely going to be taking this scripture out of context. But anyway, let's see what the exact wording is. Genesis 3:16. Here it is. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. What? That's not even the right quote, Sarah. Sarah, come on, girl. That's not even the right line. I'm gonna look for it. Hold on, I'm gonna look for it. Hold on. Here we go. Here it is. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply the... What? Again, that's not even the right one! Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Again, massively taking it out of context, but like, she didn't even get the right line in there. Like, hold on, did they even get, like, the right word-for-word line at the end there? Hold on. Thy desire shall be to thy husband, he shall rule over thee. And then skip ahead a little bit. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Yeah, you're massively taking that out of context there, Sarah. Not even in the right line. Sarah, like, if you're gonna misquote the Bible, can you at least, like, give the right, like, book and right paragraph and right sentence? Jeez. Anywho. Let's go for this one, I guess. We're gonna need some more survivors soon. We're gonna need some more scavengers. First aid. Actually, melee could help. There we go. Ah, no, this guy, he scams you with that one. Plus, we can generate it on our own eventually. Three wood every, like, 5 weeks. Yeah, that's not very helpful. First aid or coward? I guess first aid. It don't really matter since he's a builder. He's not going to be able to do much with that. Okay, well, if that's the case, let's just double the building rate here, you know? Farm here. Let him fix the car. Gain driver perk. Fight them. Go do some recruiting. Apologize. Again, why? If you're gonna make them the bad guys, why? If you're gonna make them the bad guys, why? Why make them so reasonable? Why make it so easy to side with them? Give them 10 rations, I guess. There we go. Make apartment. Let's see. Soldier and soldier. Yeah, sure. Okay. Mind orc. Okay, you got the name of an orc, buddy. Alright, well, anyway. Assault rifle and flare gun. He'll do good for himself. Will the Fuzz. That's an interesting nickname. The Fuzz. Crowbar and a nail board. Okay, let me think. I guess, where's our workshop at? I know we have one. Do we not have? We don't have one. Oh my, okay. Have to make one then. Okay, you go over here and you make this a farm. Scavenging takes longer for the next week, of course. Weird if that wasn't the case. Banshee again. Normally when a person is turned, all the undead husk is able to do is moan and occasionally growl. Unfortunately, we got one of the rare occasions outside the fort where the thing still remembers how to scream. It's been doing it non-stop for days and is affecting morale. Okay. Okay, let's see. Redecorator. Move you guys over here. And I guess I'll just research this while we wait here. You gotta be fucking... this is so rare, and I don't have enough money. That pisses me off. The one and only time we don't have enough food to do it. The one and fucking only time. That is some garbage. That is straight up ass. Make up sleep outside, gain the camper perks, that's nice. Okay, let's see. 2 food a day, happiness. Let's make another one of these. Make another one of these. Skip this awful song because it's annoying. None of these help a soldier. Ah, well. Handouts. Oh, I didn't read that. Oh, well. It's kind of crazy. We really need some scavengers, but we're not really getting any. Alright, well, next band of survivors that we recruit, we'll make them scavengers if they're not ones already. If we can even find some, damn. That event making scavenging take longer is still going on. Pay for the whole fort, watch and fast. I meant to damn it. Meant to click save the tamer, but well. Give him a bit of a bonus to... Give him a bit of a bonus to morale, you know, because, you know, we were just so low in that regard. Let me think. Claim all this. Defense expert. We found that damn howling zombie in the school and put an end to it. It was in an odd condition. Seems someone had attacked it with a sword at some point. And the poor thing was now I didn't even try. Okay, so it's the same dialogue every single time. Alright. I see how it is. Well, according to my stream here, literally nobody's watching. I guess nobody gives a fuck about Rebuild. I don't say I blame you guys. I don't say I blame you. I'm just keeping this part here just for retroactive purposes. I guess that's the only reason, the only thing that's keeping me from talking. Of course, that did that. Of course, it'd be weird if it didn't. Wait till that's done rebuilding. Rebuild the farm. Build a farm. Have a crazy party. Alright, people are texting me. I need to get moving, so let me save my game. And I guess that'll be the end of this stream. So thank you to all 2 people that watched. Again, I get it. It's not a popular game like TF2. It ain't my usual content with Breakers, so I get it. It's not going to be that popular. But man, we peaked at... What did we peak at? Hold on. We peaked at 10 viewers. Wow, that is... It's kind of abysmal. Damn. Well, I guess, you know, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Donate to my PayPal and the link in the description down below. If you like the content, want to support me, even $1 makes all the difference in the world. Thank you for watching.